Oh my god, I need a sequin bomb for my living room. Hello everyone and welcome to season 5 of the Blind Pinterest Challenge. The series where I recreate crafts and DIY projects from Pinterest without any instructions. Because it's season 5, that's what it's all about. We've had 4 full seasons of this now. We know what to expect. And reality. Oh my god, look at the You also might be wondering why it's a 5th season. Why are you doing a season 5? We're in a new studio, a new house, it's a fresh start, and also I've got a new blindfold. This is the main criteria for starting a new season. Don't know whether you knew that.
No one cares.
So I think we're going to start a brand new season with something incredibly easy because I like easy. And it's this cute little vase of sticks or twigs or whatever with some little pom-poms stuck on it. And obviously it has given me some instructions on how to do it, but like quite frankly, I think I know I would just hot glue some little pom-pom balls onto some sticks. And I don't know, I think it's quite nice. I think it'll look nice in the studio. Where will I put it? I don't know, I do have a few spaces mind, especially up there. It would look lovely up there. So that's why I'm making it, because I want some more tat for the studio. I also fancy giving this a go. It's a DIY flower tea light, and it's given me some vague instructions on the bottom, so it looks like they're using spoons and petals and gluing it together, but I still don't fully understand how it's gonna kind of turn into a rose, or a, well, is it a rose? I don't know, just a regular flower, isn't it? I don't quite know how it's gonna turn into that, and I don't know the engineering behind something like that, but I can access spoons and flowers, I think, and obviously hot glue. I've got lots of hot glue. Should be alright, should be rather cheap, and I love cheap. I guess for some reason I'm really into like florals at the moment because this has caught my eye and it's a little flower ball, and quite frankly I've got a garden out there with literally no decoration at all and it needs some stuff in it. I've got a whole garden to decorate now, guys.
Oh dear.
And this could be a little addition, couldn't it? I'm assuming I'm just going to have some sort of base and then just kind of stick flowers to it or in it or something like that. But I think that's lovely. Cute little hanging flower ball. I can do that. I hope I can do that. And weirdly enough, I kind of like this object. You know what? I was wondering whether it was giant, but now that I'm looking at it, I have a feeling it's a Christmas bauble that they've decorated into a bomb.
A bomb?
Just looking at the literal shape of it, that's instantly what my brain's gone to. I don't know whether they have actually done that, but now that I'm thinking about it, it looks that way, doesn't it? But I think that's different. Who has a sequined bomb in their kind of house or their studio? I don't think many people do, and I like original things and different things and quirky things, and I think that's very quirky. Don't know what its purpose is. Well, it's just to look at, isn't it? Just something nice to look at. And just like that, I'm back. And I thought we'd start off with the little flower with a tea light inside. I thought that was quite cute. And obviously the main ingredient for this craft is going to be like a nice big flower, so I bought a pack of them on Amazon. I thought they looked great, exactly what I needed for this craft project. This arrived and I was like, oh, I wonder what I've ordered. What's inside of here? It definitely can't be a lovely big pack of flowers. Look at them. Look how small they are. I obviously didn't read the description at all, did I?
No.
I thought these were going to be like a huge big flower. No, just tiny little poxy things. Which is not the end of the world. I'm going to use them for the flower ball. However, fortunately, I do have a box of various flowers and plants and stuff. I did have another box, and I have no idea where it's gone. I'm sure I had another flower box, and I've had a look in my room, which is just full of shite, and I can't find it anywhere. I don't know whether it's been like lost in transit, but I was the transit person, and I'm pretty sure I'd have known if I lost a box of flowers. Don't know where they've gone. But anyway, hopefully I'll be able to find a biggish flower in here. That one or that one. I think this one might work, you know. It's already cut down too. Now looking at the original pin, I was under the impression that they'd taken all of these off and built like a flower inside. Also, I don't fully understand why they added the spoons, because I reckon, can I not just shove a tea light in here and not put spoons in? Do we even need the spoons? Because why add more plastic to something when you don't actually need it? I'm going to see if we can get away with not adding the spoons. And then I think I just want to remove a few of these petals on the inside just so I can fit the candle in a little bit better. Just do a bit of flower surgery. Alright, let's see if that'll just fit in there. Maybe you need the petals to kind of cover that. So if I cut some of these larger ones out, put the spoons on, and then it'll just cover that flame. I did try to get away with not using a spoon, but I think I'm gonna have to. I don't think I need many though. Probably about like 4. Also, I don't know whether you can tell, but I've changed my lighting around a little bit. I didn't think the lighting was working particularly well. I don't know whether it'll work any better now, but I feel like it might potentially be a little bit better lit. And all I've done is literally just change the position of these lights so they're not pointing in my face anymore and they're pointing a little bit more inwards. So feel free to let us know if it's looking a little bit better. I do try and fix things and change things and improve things when I can. Just I was editing and the lighting was just awful, so I thought I'd try something different. I just finished editing my last video and I am absolutely obsessed with now saying Bubbly's in the fridge.
Bubbly's in the fridge.
I found that clip right, it's from EastEnders. It's one of our soaps in the UK. And yeah, I found it while I was trailing through things and stuff. And it's this character who's obviously had an absolute breakdown over someone not putting Bubbly in the fridge. Bubbly's in the fridge! You're lying! Or lying about Bubbly in the fridge. I don't know the full story because I'm not asked about the soaps. But now I can't stop saying, Bubbly's in the fridge. You can say it in so many different ways as well for different effects. So like it could be like a question, Bubbly's in the fridge. Feel like getting it tattooed on us. That's how much I love that saying, Bubbly's in the fridge. Shut up! I think it's a very kind of British thing to say as well, Bubbly's in the fridge. By the way, if you don't know what bubbly is, it's just like champagne or like fizzy wine or something. Some people would call it bubbly, I would not call it bubbly. I'm tempted to do a video on like Britishisms and kind of explain a little bit more about like accents and different words and stuff.
What would you do if when you're okay, so he said yes would go? I don't know what you mean there, babes.
I just sometimes get like comments on some of my videos asking about where my accent's from and stuff, so I don't know, let us know if you fancy it and I'll do like a little British dialect language video. People might learn a few things. I know I say some things and people get really confused about it. I don't know, well, I do know why. It's because I've got a certain accent.
Butter.
I forget I have an accent though. Obviously we all forget, don't we? It's just the way we speak. Right, let's take 4 spoons. I'm just gonna make sure these fit. Yeah, they do. Right, and just glue some petals onto the back of these spoons. Right, and I'm just gonna stick this candle in here, just so I know where these flower petals need to be. I think I need to cut more of this down, you know. I need some more of these petals out. Actually, you know what? If I just take all of this out, I think I'll be able to fit this in and not need the spoons. I think I just haven't dug around enough. Alright, let me try that, see if that'll hide in there. Yeah, I don't think we need spoons. I think it might look a bit shit with them in. Yeah. Okay, I'm not using spoons. I've decided it doesn't need spoons at all. If you just do enough cutting on the inside of the flower, I think you can get away with it. So we have expectation and reality. And I think that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Just a nice little flickering flower. And I didn't need any spoons for mine. This was actually really easy. You could make loads of these. I suppose it would be nice for like a little romantic kind of day or date or something. Or it'd be even nice to put some around like the bath and just have like, I don't know, little relaxing floral cute thing. And although I had to buy some spoons and flowers, I didn't technically use any for this because I just used stuff I already had. So this actually ended up costing me absolutely nothing. Love a free craft. We're starting a brand new season of the Blind Pinterest Challenge off with a freebie. Since I've already got my little box of tiny flowers, I thought we may as well do the flower ball decoration. So I've got myself here my least favourite material in the entire world, and it's floral foam. Oh my god, I hate the feel of this. I don't even want to get this out of the plastic because I can already sense the like spongy, horrible feeling of floral foam. Honestly, it's disgusting. Get out! Kind of want to wear gloves. In fact, shall I wear gloves? Because I can't handle this. It'll make me feel sick. I know people will think I'm crazy for doing this, but seriously, I can't touch it. Especially for such a prolonged time. I'll cringe so hard I'll die. People who know that feeling will completely understand this. Okay, I feel safe now. It doesn't affect us, I'm immune to it, great. But still the thought of it's made us feel sick, but never mind. Right, got some cute little flowers here. And because I didn't really want to spend too much money on this, I'm just going to rely on like flowers and foliage that I already have. So I'm just going to pick some bits out of here that I think will go well. These things, they'll do. These might look okay. There's some roses, they'll do. Something in here proper stinks. It's got like that rubbery fish smell.
Yum!
I feel like mine might potentially look a bit more random than theirs because I feel like they had a very cohesive theme, but you know, that's alright. Okay, I think I might be good for flowers. And I think before I start gluing these on, I'll stick some ribbon on just so I can hang it. I think this is a bit too thick for what I'm after, so I'll just cut it down a little bit. I'm gonna carve a little bit of a hole. Alright, and fill it with hot glue and then just shove our ribbon in there. And then I think I want to wait for that to set just so it doesn't go anywhere. And then basically all I'm going to do, use my hot glue gun and these flowers and just glue it all to this. I don't think it's rocket science. And hopefully mine will look just as nice, if not better, than the original pin. So finally, after an hour of hot gluing, we have expectation and reality. And you know what? I think mine looks better than the original. I think mine looks really nice. I know mine looks a little bit more wild than theirs. Mine's a little bit more kind of bushy and crazy and a little bit more rustic as well. I think this looks a little bit more real than theirs. Theirs looked very fake and very kind of perfect almost. And I think mine with a little bit more kind of wildlife and flair to it. I don't know, I think that's really nice. I think that would cost a lot of money at a shop, you know. If you bought something like that, I reckon they'd charge you about £40–50. But this only cost me around about £30, and that was for the foam floral ball and the little pack of roses that I had. However, this would cost you way more if you didn't have a shitload of random fake artificial flowers like I do. Because people don't realise artificial flowers, they're very, very expensive. Even the cheap ones are really expensive. But I'm pretty sure outside I've got a lovely place for this. Oh, doesn't that look nice? First of many bits of garden decor. Oh, I'm proper chuffed with that. Just nice to have a bit of colour in the garden. Look what I did the other day. Cut my lawn. Finally.
Well done.
So I thought next we would try the little pom-pom tree branch decoration thing. And I got these this morning, right? These were the only decent sticks I could find. And they're from like a thorn bush, I think. There are so many thorns. I've already stabbed myself twice with them. But I think these will do. So I'm pretty sure we know what I'm going to do with these sticks. I've got a little pack of pom-poms and I'm literally just going to hot glue them randomly to the branch. Simple as that, really. First one done. We're off to a great start. Another thing I did the other day as well. I've been doing like a lot of firsts. So obviously cutting my lawn. I installed a washing line. Very, very adult things and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But one thing I did, which is something I was really proud of myself for doing, but I've managed to install my own smart thermostat. I wired it in and everything. I stripped wires, I connected wires into like the little thing at the back. It wasn't as scary as I thought. I find plumbing scarier than doing electric work. Electric work, once you kind of figure out what the point of it is, it kind of makes sense. Don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna like rewire a house or anything because that would be insane. But I don't mind doing like little bits. And also if you don't have a smart thermostat, I would absolutely recommend them. Since I've installed it, it's literally half my gas bill. I think my old thermostat, I don't think it was working properly. I would set it to a certain temperature and I felt like the heating would just randomly come on whenever it fancied it. Even when it wasn't cold, it was just strange. And also it's dead crazy, it knows when I've opened a window. Like I was pottering around the house and I literally opened a window and I got an alert on my phone and they said, oh, have you opened a window? Do you want to do this? I was like, how do you know I've opened a window? There's no sensors on the windows, so I literally have no idea how you know that I've literally just opened a window. Technology is just so advanced these days. Right, do I have enough pom-poms on or do I need more? I feel like this is the kind of thing where I would literally just cover all the branches and pom-poms. I think you want it quite sparingly, don't you? I just need to find a vase for these. Because I didn't buy one specifically for this because I know I've got some options. What about this? I think it'll look nice in here. Let's have a look. Okay, so we have expectation. And reality. Oh, wow. Pom-poms on sticks. What were we expecting? There we go. Oh, isn't that cute? It's just a bit different, isn't it? I'm not sure whether you'd be able to see it because it literally just blends into the background. We try and use my shirt to kind of block it out. Very lovely, very whimsical, very pom-pommy. And mine's got a bit of a dangerous side too because if you touch it, you're going to stab your finger. Now obviously all I had to buy for this were pom-poms, sticks were free, already had the vase, and I reckon I've used about 20 pence worth of pom-poms. Not a bad little craft, we've had a freebie and a proper cheap one. Oh, today's going well. And last but not least, it's time to make a bomb. So like I said earlier in the video, I'm pretty sure they've used a Christmas bauble as a base. So I've just bought a pack of quite large ones. I need somewhere where the wire's gonna come out of. Okay, and I want to cut myself off a nice long bit of wire. And I'm thinking what'll be best for this is if I curve this wire into like a ball, that's just going to kind of hold it in place in there. And if I thread that through, and then if we just add some glue around the edge just so it doesn't fall apart. I can be messy with this part because obviously I'm going to cover it so I'm not that bothered. Alright, and just connect these together. Why do all these want to connect for? Hang on, something went wrong there. I don't know what. I've just got like loads of random glue all over it now. They didn't connect, what the hell? These aren't very good baubles. Right, I'm gonna do that again and just change it. I've made a mistake with that. I don't think I should be gluing it. It ruins the seal on it. Attempt number 3. Okay, so I finally stopped making an ass of that. And I think when we add the sequins around, it'll kind of seal it in place anyway, so I'm not too bothered. Okay, so I think the first step is to use some black sequins and cover this thing. I don't think sequin fabric would work because it'll just be like clumpy and it won't kind of cover the way I'm thinking it'll cover. So instead I bought sequin ribbon, and that'll give me a little bit more kind of flexibility with the movement and placement of these sequins. I think so anyway. Right, and we're just gonna basically hot glue the, oh, it's stretchy. We're just gonna hot glue this round here and try our best to be as neat as possible. I'm so happy I bought an elasticated sequin thing because it's made it so much easier. If I'd bought like a really rigid sequin fabric, this would have been absolutely impossible. Or not necessarily impossible, but it'd have just been really, really difficult and really, really messy. So if by chance you're out there and thinking, oh my god, I need a sequin bomb for my living room, then, you know, get yourself some elasticated sequin stuff. Okay, base of the bomb done. I think I've done an alright job of that actually. And now I basically just need to add the silver for the top and the wire, and then some like gold explosion-y bits. Okay, so after even more gluing, we have expectation and reality. Here's my version. I think I've done an alright little job, you know. It's not as perfect as theirs. Theirs looks obviously very, very neat and very put together. But I think I've done a pretty decent little version. A sequin bomb. Run for cover. How much did this fancy little bomb cost me to make? I think it cost me a lot of money because I had to buy the sequin thing and that was expensive. So I actually spent just short of £40 to get all the materials for this. However, I didn't use all the materials. I've got plenty left over. I reckon about 10, 15, between 10 and 15 pounds for something like this. And again, I'm not mad at it. I can't wait to put this on my shelf. Proper cute. It's gonna really like spice up the place. Anyway, I think that just about does it for today's brand new episode of the Blind Pinterest Challenge, a brand new season of the Blind Pinterest Challenge in the brand new studio. Ah, what a great start to season, is it 5? I think it's 5. We've done really well today. I do think I picked some relatively easy-ish ones, but still, it's nice to have an episode where things pretty much go okay. But if you have enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and always remember, bubbly's in the fridge.
Bubbly's in the fridge.
I was just about to say I do actually have some bubbly in the fridge. I don't, but I do have some Black Tower in the fridge. I'm gonna have to buy some champagne just so I can say, if someone comes round, bubbly's in the fridge.
Bubbly's in the fridge.
I don't really like champagne though, it tastes crap to me. I don't understand why people like champagne and Prosecco. I think it's absolutely filthy. I don't know why fizzy, like winey drink. No. A sparkling wine, oh my god, get it out my face. Absolutely not. It has to be flat, crisp and Black Tower, basically.